Well, I think that the sense of excitement that you noticed in the economy here is very strongly indicative of the readiness of the Lagos business community and the Lagos Corporate Assembly to expand upon the scope of the investments that they have made. And perhaps I need only reiterate that what we seek to do is not just to bring investment here, but to point the way, really, about the sectors where this government will be aggressively exerting itself. And we do this very deliberately. We've seen the growth predictions in many sectors of the Nigerian economy, which we are an integral part of. But we also hear very clearly the complaints about the lack of employment for our very young population. And we think that the most important sectors that have the capacity to respond to this, if we lift them, is power, agriculture, transportation, and housing. And this is so because they in themselves, if they begin to run optimally, have an inherent knock-on effect in enabling other sectors to find their feet. If you have power, I mean, it's a no-brainer what will happen to this economy. Latent opportunities that are not yet even within contemplation will simply find their way out. As you would agriculture, the entire value chain, as you would an efficient transportation system that reduces cost of transportation, that ultimately makes goods and services easier to access, and what that would do to the disposable income of the ordinary citizen. And of course, we can only imagine, as I said this morning, what would happen if we were constructing 1 million housing units simultaneously, what that would do to this economy. Well, as you would know, no state in this country collects the taxes on the profits of corporations. Those taxes are collected by the federal government, and I'm very delighted to have with me this morning the Honorable Minister for Trade and Investment, who is representing the President, Mr. Michel Wanaga. I'm sure he will speak to issues of the tax policies and incentives that the federal government has put in place. But let me, of course, recap some of the things that he mentioned this morning in his speech. The President's speech that he delivered was the business improvement of the business regime, issuance of visas at the port of entry to investors on a reciprocal basis.
What does that mean? What do you mean by on a reciprocal basis?
Well, my understanding is that this will be done by countries who give us the same privilege in their jurisdiction and their point of entry. But at the Lagos end, there is a free trade zone, and of course, you know, free trade zones are also regulated by national legislation. But the Lagos Free Trade Zone offers investment incentives which are being codified at this moment for investors who invest in the Lagos Free Trade Zone and indeed other free trade zones in other parts of the country. Well, again, the BRIC nations are sovereigns, and therefore, in that sense, they have rights and privileges that a subnational like Lagos will never have.
Yeah.
But our role here is a recognition of the commercial leverage that we represent for Nigeria, its population, and of course Nigeria's role not only on the African continent but in the global economic space. And we are convinced, and as you heard also from the federal government, that this is the critical lever that needs to work if all other levers of opportunities in the Nigerian nation must run and turn optimally. And therefore, we in a sense are the locomotive that will drive the train of Nigeria's new prosperity and opportunities. I think beyond recognition, it is treatment, really, and the kind of support, the kind of commitment and investment that I would love to see from the national government in Lagos is an investment in the enlightened common interest, because the fortunes of so many people from so many parts of this country are tied to assets and investments and opportunities that abound here, and also that project collaterally across the sub-region, the southwest sub-region of the country. So beyond recognition, really, what I would love to see more, what I think would be much more impactful if our objectives, national objectives for 2020 are going to be met, is to push this lever, the front door, the front desk of the Nigerian business house forward with everybody's support behind it, so that it would inure for the benefit of the country as a whole. Well, I think the first thing to say is that time after time we have demonstrated the value now of a consistency of policy. Actors on the policy formulation desk will come and go, but what we have demonstrated here is the commitment of the entire team, of the entire state government, to policies that it makes. Of course, policies are also not cast in stone. The fluid nature of life, the fluid nature of the people for whom policies are made, demand that they be reviewed from time to time. And the institutions that are in place, a very strong judiciary, an independent press, a strong PPP office, clearly guarantee to people who do business with us that not only will they have the best of services, the courtesy and the civility that is required to do this, they also now form the impression that should there be a dispute, as there will be in business transactions, they will be dealt with in a very efficient and business-like manner by a judiciary that is independent, and they've seen government responding. And if we are aggrieved at any time, of course, we will also use the instrumentality of the judiciary, and that is what you really need. And with strong democratic practices, the necessary institutions for doing what we need to do, for promoting prosperity, for attracting investment, for interacting with the private sector, I think very, very well in place. What we need to do now is to reinforce them going forward.